All praises. Got enough energy. For those who ask me, this is Bang Energy Drink. Right? Really good, man. Just keeps me wired, keeps me going. Stay focused, all of that. Right? Right? In the spirit of God. Right? So without further ado, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles who rule well, right? To the elders who rule well, in sincerity and truth, right? The water for, and of course, those who taught us this truth, of course, by Hashem Yahushai, and Shalom to all the camps, teaching this truth and sincerity by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. Shalom to the hopeful elect, right? All the Akim wa Akwath, right? So without further ado, what I want to do is I'm going to go into the 10 Commandments, right? I'm going to give a little breakdown, small little breakdown about the 10 Commandments, but I'm not going to read it in the KJV. I'm going to be reading it in the GNT, right? Right? Because, man, I just love the way the GNT works, right? The GNT is a powerful, powerful book, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you got to be spiritual to understand this. You know what I mean? Of course, because the law is what makes it spiritual, right? So we're going to go to the 10 Commandments in the GNT, right? So it reads the following. This is Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. It says, Yahweh spoke, and these were his words. I am Yahweh your God, who brought you out of Egypt, where you were slaves. See that? So the Most High God told us that when we was in Egypt, we was known as slaves, right? So, right, as bondmen, bondwomen, right? And when we were in Egypt, we were in slavery, right? So that's also where you get the word Egypt, right? The word Egypt comes from the word Matazarium or Mizraim, which basically means between a rock and a hard place, which simplifies bondage or slavery, right? So it says where you were slaves, right? Verse 3, worship no God but me. So worship no Allahayim but the Most High Yahweh, Allahayanawa, right? Worship no other power but the Most High, right? Why? Because let's get, I'm going to still be in the GNT, right? Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39. That's what it says. I and I alone am God. No other God is real. So when he says I and I alone am God, capital G, right? Capital G. So he's Yahweh. He's the only power, right? There, and he says no other God, lowercase g. It says no other God is real, right? So these are all deities, these are false gods, right? Like you got Buddha, right? You got the cobblestone, right? You have Shiva, right? And many others, right? And it says, I kill and I give life. I wound and I heal, and no one can oppose what I do, right? So the Most High is the one that does all these things, right? There's no one else that can do these things but the Most High Yahweh, right? Let me get this as well. Let me see something. Is it 1 Samuel 2? All right, watch this. This is 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 2. No one is holy like Yahweh. There is none like him. No protector like our God. Stop your loud boasting. Silence your proud words. For Yahweh is a God who knows and he judges all that people do. So this is the Most High. The Most High is the one who does all these things. That's why we are to worship and honor and give all the glory, all the praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? To the Most High in the name of Yahushai, of course, because our Yahushai is the mediator between us and the Most High Yahweh, right? I'm going to go down to verse 6. Yahweh kills and restores to life. He sends people to the world of the dead, which means what? Hell or the grave, Sheol, Hades, right? Which means you getting buried 6 feet under. Right, and it says, and brings them back up and brings them back again, meaning what? Regeneration. So there's regeneration right there. It's also regeneration in the 10 Commandments, which we're going to further elaborate on. It says, He makes some people poor and others rich. He humbles some and makes others great. He lifts the poor from the dust and raises the needy from their misery. He makes them companions of princes. He puts them in places of honor. The foundations of the earth belong to Yahweh, and on them he has built the world. See that? Let me go to verse 10. Yahweh's enemies will be destroyed. He will thunder against them from heaven. Matter of fact, no, let's go to verse 9. He protects the lives of his faithful people, but the wicked disappear in darkness. And man does not triumph by his own strength. Yahweh's enemies will be destroyed. So all the enemies of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, they're going to be destroyed, right? All the enemies of Yahweh, Yahushua, I should say, right, are going to be destroyed, right? And Edomites, Girgashites, Hivites, Hittites, Amorites, Ammonites, Girgashites, right? All of these nations, right? So let's keep reading. It says, I will thunder against them from heaven, right? Meaning when them chariots come, right, they're going to send thunders upon the earth and they're going to destroy them, right? It says, Yahweh will judge the whole world. He's going to judge the entire earth, man. And it says, he will give power to his king, Yahushai. He will make his chosen king victorious, Yahushai. Yahushai is the chosen king. That's why we say, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Kalta Palawa La Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, right? All praises. So Exodus 20 and verse 4. Do not make yourselves images of anything in heaven or on earth or in the water under the earth. Do not bow down to any idol or worship it. Right? So we're not supposed to be making graven images like a cobblestone, right? Or like that Cesare Borgia painting, right? Or you have the false prophet Muhammad, right? These are all false idols. And it says, do not bow down. And people bow down to these things. Literally, they bow down to the cross, bow down to a damn stone in Mecca, right? And it says, because I am Yahweh, your God, and I tolerate no rivals. See that? Because like I read earlier in Samuel, he's going to destroy all of his enemies. And it says, I will bring punishment on those who hate me, like all these other nations do. And if you don't serve Yahweh, Yahushai, you're an enemy to the Most High. And it says, and on their descendants, see that? On their descendants, down to the third and fourth generation. See that? So third and fourth generation, that's what's talking about what? Regeneration. Because every 3 to 4 generations, the soul comes back, right? Even when you read Yahushai even said, he confirms this, right? That, let me see, I'm staying in the GNT. This is a challenge for me as well. Matthew 19. I want to see if it still says the same thing. Look at this. Matthew 19, verse 27, verse 28. So like, let me just get to the point. Yahweh said to them, you can be sure that when the Son of Man sits on his glorious throne in the new age, then you, 12 followers of mine, will also sit on thrones to rule the 12 tribes of Israel. So how are you going to be ruling with him if they all died? Which means what? Regeneration. You come back. Now watch this. Even when you go to... Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 and verse 21. It says, let the slaughter begin. The sons of this king will die because of their ancestors' sins. See that? So that's in the GNT. I'm reading all in the GNT. No KJV right now. It's all GNT. So you have to pay for the sins of your ancestors, right? That's why even what we're doing right now, we're paying for the sins of our ancestors. We're under the curses of Deuteronomy. And of course, Leviticus 26. So we're under these curses because of our ancestors, because we are our ancestors. We are paying for the transgressions of what we did before. That's why we are to come back to the law to reverse the curse. So we're under a curse. In order to reverse it, you got to go back and do what you did before you got cursed. That makes a lot of sense, but I don't get people don't know how to do this. But strong delusion, right? Back to Exodus 20 and verse 4. It says, I will bring punishment on those who hate me and on the descendants down to the 3rd and 4th generation. But I show my love to thousands of generations of those who love me and obey my laws. So we have to keep the laws of Yahweh, right? We have to keep the Most High's laws. Verse 7, do not use my name for evil purposes. For I, Yahweh, your God, will punish anyone who misuses my name. And you see people do that, right? Like, hey, listen, you know, matter of fact, I don't want to mention no names, but there are people that know the name of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai, and they use his name for evil, right? So they're using his name in vain, because his name ain't God. His name ain't not the Lord. His name ain't Jesus. It's Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. And you have people that are supposedly in this truth, that are using this truth they're taking this truth for granted, and they're using it to make a quick buck, right? That's what they're doing. Like when you read Malachi, they say, how can a man rob God? Yeah, through tithes and offerings. You're robbing the Most High by using his name for vain glory. This is not for us to glory. We're not supposed to be using this for vain glory. We're supposed to glorify Yahweh, right? So verse 8, observe the Sabbath and keep it holy, right? How do we know when the Sabbath comes in? By the new moon. The new moon means new month. That's where you get the breakdown of it. So let's show you real quick how we determine our Sabbaths, right? Real quick. Sirach. Let's go to Sirach 43 real fast. I'll show you real quick through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. It says, Sirach 43 in verse 6. There is also the moon, marking the passage of time, an eternal sign of the changing seasons. The moon determines the holy days. The Sabbath is a holy day. The Sabbath is a holy day. It's the first day. It's the first holy day that you see. And I'm going to show you that in the precept. It says the moon determines the holy days. Its light grows full and then grows dim. So it starts off as a dark moon, which means a new moon, dark moon, right? And then it grows. Its light grows, right? And then it goes back to being dim, right? That's the cut on the new moon being the full moon, right? And it says the month is named after the moon, marvelous to watch as it grows fuller each night. A signal light for the heavenly army shining out of the dome of the sky. Also showing that the earth is on a plain field with a dome over it. And we're not on a spinning round ball orbiting in space with all these, all this other bullshit, which I'm going to do a breakdown on the earth, the shape of the earth, right? Quote unquote. Right. So stay tuned for that one. So yeah, man, let me show you in Leviticus 23, the feast days of the Lord, right? To show you that the Sabbath is the first feast of the Lord. Right. And it says the moon determines the Sabbath. Right. The moon determines the feast days. Right. So let's go to Leviticus 23 and verse 1. Read this in the GNT, of course. Still reading in the GNT. Salakia. Yahweh gave Moses the following regulations for the religious festivals. Right. It says religious because, it's the high holy days. When the people of Israel are to gather for worship, you have 6 days in which to do your work. But remember that the seventh day, the Sabbath, is a day of rest. On that day, do not work, but gather for worship. The Sabbath belongs to Yahweh. No matter where you live, proclaim the following festivals at the appointed times. You see that? So the first feast that you see is the Sabbath. Now, of course, the Lord, when the Lord made the world in 6 days, right? The 6 days is referring to years, right? So it's 6,000 years. Right, pursuing you read 2 Peter 3 and 8. I'm gonna still see what it says in the GNT. Like I said, it's a challenge for me too, doing this in real time. I never saw it, so all praise to the Most High. Just let the Spirit just take over, right? 2 Peter 3 and verse 8, it says, but do not forget one thing, my dear friends. There is no difference in Yahweh's sight between 1 day and 1,000 years. To him, the two are the same. That's beautiful. All praises. See that? So the moon determines the days, man. The moon determines the Sabbath day, right? So the earth was created in 6,000 year period. On the 7,000th year, the Lord rested from all his work. Right. So, but the moon determines day one. Right. So it goes from day one. Then you count 7 days, day 8. Count another 7 days, you're on day 15. Count another 7 days is day 22. And that's a complete moon. That's a complete moon cycle. Then you do another one in another week. And it's a new moon again. So it's dark moon, half, which is the first half. Right. Or people call it a first quarter. Then you have a full moon. Then you have a second quarter or a second half. Then it's back to a new moon again. That's the complete moon cycle. And notice it's every 7 days that it's a complete cycle, right? So it's new, half, full, half. 7, 7, 7, 7. See that? It's not that hard to understand that. That's why the Lord says 6 days you work, 7th day you rest. See that? So it's by the moon. Because if you remove the calendar, and the clock you have right now, what day is it? Yeah, I didn't think so. You wouldn't know. How would you know? By looking up at what? The heavens, right? All right, so look, Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14, G and T. Then Yahweh commanded, right? Then God commanded, let lights appear in the sky to separate day from night, and to show the time when days, years, and religious festivals begin. They will shine in the sky to give light to the earth, and it was done. That's how you determine when the feast days come in. You got to look upward. You have to understand, right? The moon determines the days, right? And to tell you what time it is, you look at the sun. See that? It's not that hard to understand this. Like I said, if you remove the calendar, before the calendar was even invented, right? We already was doing this. We was looking up at the sky. That's how the Most High told us to determine our days, our feasts. Look at Issachar or Aztecas, right? Azteca means assembly of time, right? The people of the time. So they understood when it was time to feast, harvest, and all of that. They understood that, right? Each tribe got a blessing, of course. That was their blessing to understand the times of the times of harvesting and all of that. So let's go back to Exodus. Go back to Exodus chapter 20, and we're gonna read verse 9. You have 6 days in which to do your work, but the 7th day is a day of rest dedicated to me. Right? On that day, no one is to work. Neither you, your children, your slaves, we can have slaves, right? Your animals, nor the foreigners who live in your country. In 6 days, 6,000 years, I, Yahweh, made the earth, the sky, the seas, and everything in them. But on the 7th day I rested. That is why I, Yahweh, blessed the Sabbath and made it holy. So see that? The Lord blessed the Sabbath, man. Right? He made that day holy, which means it's set apart. Right? Kodash. Right? 1 day of the week is what you dedicate that entire day is to dedicate to the Most High Yahweh. Right? We have to dedicate 1 day. Hey, listen, the Most High is so merciful. He gave us 1 day of rest. Right? And also in that day, it's also good to do good, like teaching your people on that day. Right? Going to the highways and the byways and go teach people, because people listen, people, nobody that really follows these laws, statutes, and commandments is really keeping the Sabbath day. Nobody even knows when the Sabbath day comes in. They always say it's Saturday, whatever, right? And that's cool. If you keep the Friday, Saturday, Shabbat, all right, cool. All praise to the Most High. That's what's up, right? We keep the lunar Sabbath over here, but people don't understand that we have to honor that day. That the earth hasn't been at rest for a long time, right? So we have to understand that the Most High made a day holy, and He blessed that day, and we are to keep that day because the Sabbath day was made for us, not us for the Sabbath. Right? We need a day off, man. We work all day long. I'm saying people got businesses, wives, children. 9 to 5s. This is stressful, man. Especially living in this world, man. It's filled with nothing but devils, man. You want to sometimes you want to just rest from this world. You want to get away from all of it, right? So the Most High was so merciful, graceful. That's why you have to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because He gave us a day of rest, right? Yahweh said that too. It is lawful to do good on the Sabbath, right? It's good to do good. You help your brother in need, help the poor, help you. You know what I'm saying? But just stay away from buying, cooking, selling. You know what I mean? Like, just the things that you would do, on your day-to-day basis. You keep that day set apart. That day is holy. That day is separate from every other day, right? It's a feast of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Bake what you have to bake now, and then in the morning, you eat whatever you got. You know what I'm saying? So you have to prepare for the Sabbath, right? So Exodus 20 and verse 12, it says, respect your father and your mother so that you may live a long time in the land that I am giving you. So that you have to respect your parents, man. Respect them. You have to have honor and respect for your father and your mother, man. Right? You need to. Because if you want to live a long time, you have to have respect for your parents, man. right? The same way you fear the Most High and respect for the Most High, the same way you show that same fairness and love and mercy and kindness for your parents. Now, I'm not saying you have to love them more than the Most High. You love the Most High more than you love them, right? You put the Most High first, then you put them, right? But the Most High requires us, he commands us, right, to respect our parents. Watch this. Exodus 21 and verse 15. It says, whoever hits his father or his mother is to be put to death. See that? This is how strict the Most High God is. If you even lay a finger on him, you smack. Listen, your ass is going to die, right? I'm going to skip to verse 17. Exodus 21 and 17. Whoever curses his father and his mother is to be put to death. You can't even put curses on them, man. Don't do that. Have respect for your parents, man. Where your morals at? Don't be like these Edomites who want to, fuck you, dad. Fuck you, mom. I'm going to kill all you. Don't be like that, man. Don't be like Billy and Bob and Joe. All right? Don't be like Mo Larry Curly. All right? You got to be a holy one, a set apart individual. Or Hebrew Israelite, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, right? So you have to understand that, right? Respect your parents, right? If you want to live a long time, understand? Yeah. Also, you want to possess the kingdom. You have to do these things, right? Verse 13, Exodus 20 and 13. Do not commit murder. See that? Murder. Don't commit no murders, man. Right? Don't kill their brother innocently. Right? Don't murder your own people, man. You're not supposed to be doing murder. Listen, murder is murder. All right? Don't murder nobody, man. Now, killing is different. If I kill a chicken, that's not murder. I'm hungry. I want to eat a chicken. I'm saying I want some chicken. I got to kill a chicken and eat it. Right? That's not murder. That's different. Murder is a premeditated thing. Let me get a definition real quick on murder and kill. Right? Watch this. Murder. Definition. Let's go to this real quick. Murder. The unlawful premeditated killing of one human being by another. See that? Kill someone unlawfully with premeditation. See that? That's what murder is. Now let's go to kill. Let's go to kill. Kill definition. Watch this. Cause the death of a person, animal, or other living thing. Right? Put an end to or cause the failure of defeat of something. Right? An act of killing, especially of one animal by another. See that? There's two separations. There's one that says kill. Like when you read in the KJV, it says thou shalt not kill. But we know when you go into the Hebrew, it's thou shalt not murder. Right? Let me show you something real quick. Watch this. Wait, what am I doing? There we go. Okay, so watch this. Let's go to Exodus 20. Verse 13. Watch this. So when you go to the Strongs, right? Of course, the KJV it says thou shalt not kill. But when you go, it says Harasa, right? Harasa is the Hebrew, right? It's Strong's H7523. Look, it says to murder, to slay, premeditated, right? That's what it is. Murderers, right? You don't be a murderer, right? Assassinate. Look at that. Murder, an assassin. See that? So you got to be careful, man. You got to be careful with, think about what you're doing before you do it anyway, man. You got to think, be mindful and keep these laws. Meditate on the Lord's commandments. Right? So listen, man. Don't be no murderer, man. You already see we have a whole bunch of black on black crimes, a bunch of brown on brown, right? Hispanic versus Hispanic, Northern Kingdom versus Southern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom versus Northern Kingdom, right? We got to stop vexing each other. Judah shall not vex Ephraim, and Ephraim shall no more vex Judah, right? We're not supposed to be, stop being a murderer. Even if you think about it, like I said, premeditated, right? You're a murderer in your mind. Even if you hate your brother, you are a murderer, right? Watch this. You hate your brother, man, in your heart, man. All right, let me see something real quick. Was it First John? Let me just read it right here off the screen. 1 John 3, verse 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer. And you know that no murderer hath eternal life and abiding in him. So if you want eternal life, stop being a murderer, man. Stop that. Oh, I want to kill that nigga because he got this, he got that. Or stop doing that, man. Stop being a murderer, man. Right? It's so simple to keep these commandments. Right? Let's go to verse 14. Exodus 20 and verse 14. Do not commit adultery. Don't adultery, right? Let's go to the definition of what adultery is. A lot of people don't understand what adultery is, right? Let's go to adultery. Leviticus 20 and verse 10. If a man commits adultery with the wife of an Israelite, both he and the woman shall be put to death. See that? So you cannot be committing, you cannot be doing adultery, because adultery is what? When I read in the GNT, by the way. If a man commits adultery with the wife of an Israelite. So let me just read this. Let me read it in the KJV instead. Go on the KJV and read it in the KJV. Right? So stop committing adultery, man. Leviticus 20. And verse 19 and verse 10. Leviticus 20 and verse 10. It says, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. So stop committing adultery, right? You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of women out in the world. You don't got to get your man's girl, man. You don't have to get the neighbor's wife. And adultery is universal law. The GNT, I know it says Israelite, so, right? But we know that adultery is a universal law, right? Even King David, right? He committed adultery. And you know, of course, the man was a heathen, and it was adultery. It doesn't even matter, man. Right? The Most High said, don't commit adultery. Thou shalt not commit adultery. So even if you see an Edomite with a beautiful woman, and that's his wife, right? A beautiful wife of his, right? Or whatever, right? Whatever the case is, right? Because some of you people are into weird ass shit anyway. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, an Edomite with his wife, and you lusting for his wife. Stop doing that. Stop having a lustful eye to his wife, because that belongs to him. That's his property. So like, I don't mean to say it like that, but that belongs to him. That woman belongs to him, right? That belongs to him. Stop trying to take another man's wife, man. You niggas out there, you got to stop doing that shit. Y'all niggas rap about it all the time. Take his bitch. Stop saying that shit, man. Love one another. Show love to one another, man. Why take another man's wife when the Most High allows you to be polygynous? You can take all the women. You can take as many women as you want. Just take care of them. It's not that hard. Just take care of these women, man. Right? But stop being an adulterer. Right? Look at this. Watch this. Exodus 21 and verse 10. If a man takes a second wife, he must continue to give his first wife the same amount of food and clothing and the same rights that she had before. You see that? So you can't, if you want another woman, go get another woman. You don't have to be jealous about a man who has another wife. So what? So what? That's his wife. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that hard, man. Stop committing adultery. Adultery is a trap for you people, man. Right? Nobody wants to deal with a wicked woman. And nobody wants to deal with a wicked man. So if y'all want to commit adultery, both y'all gonna get purged out, man. Right? We don't need this wickedness in Israel. All right? Nor in the world at all. No nation gonna be doing this. That goes for all. That goes for even you heathens can't commit adultery. Right? Like I said, it's a universal law. Verse 15, do not steal. Right? Stop stealing, man. Now, I'm not saying, look. Now, this right here, when it says do not steal, it's talking about your own people. Right? Because you can take, like, remember, we borrowed from the Egyptians who were dead. So you're basically taking what's theirs. It doesn't belong to you anymore. It's not mine. Right? Like it says in the scripture, we're going to spoil them who spoiled us. They stole from us. We're going to steal from them. Right? But we got to wait in due time, in due season. Right? We have to wait for when we wait in Yahweh Shai, we're going, you know what I'm saying? But right now, don't steal nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not, although, it's not expedient right now to be doing all these things, man. Right? Because the wicked are in authority. So it's not expedient. If you get caught stealing, man, hey, you're going to do time behind bars, man. Right? Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Right? Exodus 20 verse 16. Do not accuse anyone falsely. Right? Stop lying to people. Right? Stop accusing your brother for what he said and she said, and you're playing the game of telephone, right? Which is spreading rumors. right? Stop doing that type of shit, man. That's a bunch of madness, right? I'm going to read Leviticus 19 and 16 in the KJV. It says, thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. So stop trying to tell lies, man. Stop doing this shit, man. Right? I'm going to read verse 11. It says, ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. So this is, when you see thou shalt not steal, it's talking about your own people. It says, don't lie one to another. You're talking about your own people. Because when you go to verse 18, it says, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. When you read the first verse, it says, Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel. Right? So the context is talking about Israel. Right? So these are the laws, the statutes, and the commandments that was given to the Israelites. So we have to be holy. Right? We cannot accuse anyone falsely. We can't, you know what I'm saying? If you see something, you gotta speak up about it. Right? Like Leviticus 5:1. Right? It says, and if KJV, and if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. See that? So you have to not deal falsely. You got to deal truthfully, respectfully. Understand that? Exodus 20 and verse 17. Do not desire another man's house. Do not desire his wife, his slaves, his cattle, his donkeys, or anything else that he owns. Right? Stop having that jealous eye towards your brother, that evil eye towards your brother. I know we are cursed according to Deuteronomy 28 and 54, but you got to listen. We have to, like I said, reverse that curse and keep these laws so we don't have to deal with our people like that. Right? We are trying to wake up our people. Right? This is the foundation. The 10 Commandments, this is easy to follow. I don't know how people can't follow this. It's not hard. How hard is it not to keep these 10 Commandments? And of course, there's more than just the 10, right? But if you love the Most High, you keep His commandments, right? All right, I'm done with the GNT. Let's go to the KJV real quick. I want to bring this out real fast. This is John 14 and 15. If you love me, keep my commandments, right? If you love the Most High, while Yahushua, you keep the commandments of the Most High, while Yahushua, right? Because even Yahushua did it, right? When you read John 15 and verse 9, it says, as the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. If you keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. See that? Because that's what really, that's what love is, when you keep these commandments, right? I'm going to end it with this. 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3. And it reads, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So it's not hard to keep these laws. They shouldn't be a burden to you to keep the laws of the Most High. If they're so hard, I don't understand. I don't know. Your life is just woe to you, man. I mean, if you don't want to keep these laws, then woe to you, man. Right? 1 John 5 and 3 in the GNT. For our love for God means that we obey his commandments, and his commandments are not too hard for us. Right? Because every child of God is able to defeat the world, and we win the victory over the world by means of our faith. Right? Who can defeat the world? Right? Only the person who believes in Yahushua. Only the person who believes that Yahushua is the Son of Yahweh, and you keep his commandments. That's how you overcome the sin of the world. That's how you overcome this world. Right? Babylon's gonna get eradicated. That's how you get out of the mindset of Babylon. By following Yahweh Hashem Yahushua's laws, statutes, and commandments. Keep having a faith in Yahushua. Right? Your faith is what makes you strong. Your faith is what keeps you alive. It is by keeping these commandments and honoring the Most High. It's not that hard, man. See, that the 10 Commandments is not hard, but people say, I follow the 10 Commandments. You don't even know the Sabbath day. You don't even know how it even comes in. Right? You people don't even, you guys eat pork, you guys eat lobsters. We have to keep all the commandments, because upon these 10 commandments, right, all these laws, all these 10, the embodiment, right, of all the 613 is in these 10. And of course, Yahweh said what? These 10 fall into just 2, which is loving God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and loving your neighbor as you love yourself. And what is love? Keeping all of the commandments. So upon the 10 and upon those 2, and all the laws are intact right there. Because if you love God and you love him with all your heart, mind, and soul, you keep all his sayings. Right? If you love God, you do everything he says. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Right? So with that, I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I hope this edified you. Follow me on Instagram at Route to Zach. Right? And with that, again, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Shalom.